but I'm not ready to give up on this college football playoff talk because of a quarterback change. We've got reasons for optimism. OB's got some. I've got some myself. With or without Haynes King, to me, there's a lot of reasons that go beyond the quarterback that you have reasons to be optimistic for the rest of the season. And, the easy ones, we'll just throw them out there as I'm Captain Obvious. You've got a great defense, a great running game. You can control the clock. Obviously, you have an incredible coaching staff. That goes a long way in the discussion. Bottom line, nothing has changed here. Just got to evolve with the situation. And we now open up the Go Hour with my buddy, Olin Buchanan, Heisman Trophy voter, and just a huge fan of everything in life. Hello, OB.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Payday, which was today.
Oh, that's right.
So congratulations with that.
I was thinking more nature because I know
I do like nature.
You went for your walk. You're feeling good. You're waking up earlier and doing things.
I'm trying to because I've got to get in better shape. I was doing well before COVID. And then I just let it go, and now I'm trying that long climb back, and being football season doesn't help.
Yeah, no. I'm actually the reverse. I feel like I got in my best shape during COVID because of all the extra time I had at home. But, this football season stuff is not great for your workout schedule, I'll tell you what.
But it's not just the workout schedule. It's the free food that people are always shoving in your face, and I don't have the discipline to say no.
Well, I haven't had the discipline the last couple of Mondays when we've gone to Jimbo's press conference. So this is an announcement to AC and Brad and everybody out there. Instead of pizza, let's go real healthy options, because I'm going to have the pizza if it's there. I might have 3 or 4 slices.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'd probably, as bad as, and this is why I'm fat, would rather have the pizza than a healthy option, depending on what the healthy option is.
Grilled chicken and broccoli?
I would eat that, but I'd rather eat a pizza.
Of course, but if the end goal is...
I would eat that and not complain.
Yeah.
But one time, and I went to a women's basketball game. A&M played San Diego State, and I was hungry. I didn't stop to eat, and I thought, it's okay. I'll eat at the gym. So I got there and went to the media room, and there was something that I thought was a cupcake because I'm not very worldly, as you probably. And it had some green in it, and some white, and it was like so. I took a big bite. And it was my very first taste of a sushi roll.
Oh,
I could have spit it across the room. When you think you're about to get a donut or something like that, and it turns out to be raw fish, I thought I was going to vomit.
So has your palate evolved? You can't do sushi?
No.
I love sushi.
I just need to know if you got any wasabi in that taste of sushi.
I don't think so. I just picked up it was white and it had some brown or some black and red and green stripes. I'm thinking it looks like a Little Debbie.
Yeah, when you said green, I got real worried for you.
Oh, it was heinous.
Yeah, so
California.
You think you're about to have water and it's something else, and maybe it's a taste that you like, but because you are thinking it's something else, it ruins the experience.
I actually had that happen about a week ago.
What was that?
I thought it was water. I took a big drink to take some medicine, and it was actually something. My son had put something in some water.
Protein shakes?
No, I mean he has all this flavor type stuff. So had I been prepared, I might have thought, but instead I just like, what the heck, and it probably wasn't as bad as I made it out to be.
So the weather here recently has been very Seattle-esque. Last night, a little drizzly for the entire evening. I know Houston got poured on, but we didn't get the pour on. We got the little Seattle feel through most of last night's evening.
Yeah, my dad lived in Oregon, in Portland. They have the same kind of weather, and they used to say that in the summer they don't tan, they rust.
They do.
Yeah, so that's their version of brown.
Yeah,
rust.
Yeah. Hey, so I have a topic out there for us to kind of discuss, and you and I were going into it. I asked you, so let me read the question, and then, by the way, if you want to be a part of the show, you can. You can text the A&B text line, A&B, a good College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas Banking, the website anb.com, the number to do that, 979-693-1150. You can also call the BCSI Associates hotline at 979-693-1150. What are the best jobs in college football and why? And I asked this because I saw it on Twitter last night, people talking about the best jobs. I guess, unfortunately, it originated from Joel Klatt putting his list out there. I don't have it in front of me. I'll find it whenever you start talking, but he had his list of 5, And then I saw people's thoughts, and I'm thinking to myself, when it comes to any job, college football, broadcaster, engineer, the best job you want is the one that fits your lifestyle, your needs, and allows you to maximize the results for what you want to accomplish. So, for instance, some people thought I was crazy for leaving Disney to come to TexAgs. Others thought I was brilliant for leaving Disney to come to TexAgs. If you know me and what I want in my life, quality of life, no traffic, small town feel, covering the best program in the world, like this was a no-brainer. And I think you can use that same judgment tool for a college football program. For instance, USC. People are talking about it being one of the best jobs in the world. Any job you win at can be a good job, right? But I wouldn't want to live in LA. You're not the best show. Even when USC is at the top, there's still other things you're competing with. You have to deal with the traffic. You have to deal with the West Coast living, all the things that go on with LA. To me, especially in college football, the best jobs are in smaller markets. There's a lot, because if you're in a small market, I still think you get the benefit of the big market, because where do people go when they graduate from A&M? They go to Dallas, they go to Houston. They're still part of that same network. So to me, the smaller market / appeal of small town living goes a lot longer, plus the resources that we see here at a place at A&M. So that's a long-winded way of me getting to the question, what are the best jobs in college football and why? OB, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, I think USC is one of the best jobs, but you got to have the right personality, just like you have to have the right personality for a lot of places. Howard Schnellenberger was a great fit at Miami and Louisville, but wasn't a good fit at Oklahoma.
Right.
For whatever reason. I think any place where there's a lot of talent and you are considered one of the primary universities in an area with a lot of talent, it's a great job. LSU's a great job because there's a lot of talent in Louisiana, and you're the only major player in that state, right? Mm-hmm. So that Clemson, back to your point though, doesn't look like it should be a great job, right? There's some good players in South Carolina, but regionally though, there are. Georgia is a great job, right? Because you're the only major player. Georgia Tech is not a major player. Yeah. And in a state with a whole lot of talent, a lot of football players in Los Angeles. So if you can be that guy like Pete Carroll was, that can and kind of enjoy, if your personality is that I enjoy the spotlight, then I think you can be very successful there. Plus, now with NIL, you can buy Reggie Bush's house, and it's okay.
So was Alabama considered one of the best jobs in the country when Franchione was there?
Yes.
So is it always one of those top 5 jobs, even in those some lean years?
I think Bear Bryant made it that. Mm-hmm. And they at Alabama, they went all in a long time before a lot of other people. And there's a lot of talent in Alabama, and then you have that proximity to Florida.
Sure.
So, I think Alabama, and they're going to pay you whatever. The only problem with that is, though, if you don't have the right personality for it, which Franchione did not, it will eat you alive, because the media there needs a story every day.
Right.
And they're going to hang on every little thing you say and blow it out of proportion.
I think you hit it on the head right there, and that's a perfect way, because not everybody can play for the Yankees. Not everybody can be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys under the Jerry Jones regime. There's certain scrutiny. There's certain types of gigs that not everybody is fit for, yet you could still be very good at great at your job somewhere else. We've seen it before. I don't know if Charlie Strong was a great coach. It was a great fit for Louisville, not at Texas. Tom Herman, phenomenal fit for the University of Houston and what they had to go again, and also different types of expectations at Houston. Not necessarily a good fit at Texas.
See, I thought Texas had and fortunately, they had that buffoon Steve Patterson in charge. I think Texas had a golden opportunity. And had they chosen James Franklin
Mm-hmm.
instead of Charlie Strong, I think that'd be a really good. James Franklin's the kind of guy that will make everybody feel like he's the most important person in the room, and he remembers your name, and he's got a lot of Mac Brown in him.
Sure.
And he's a good football coach, but he also can do the political side of it. And fortunately, Texas didn't make that move, and it was because, hey, Charlie Strong has just won a conference championship at Louisville. But if you really know college sports, which Steve Patterson, that former AD, did not, you know that winning 9 games back-to-back at Vanderbilt was a lot more
way bigger deal.
Yeah, impressive accomplishment than winning the
American Athletics.
Yeah, at Louisville. So, and all you had to do was talk to him. Charlie's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. But James Franklin is just he's just got this personality.
Was it Conference USA then? I'm trying to think back. It's been a while since the Charlie Strong era, but regardless, and I think also some of the luster of him being at Florida still was there for Charlie Strong. So I got my quick list, and I know we got to hit a break here in a moment. I'm just going to and I didn't give that much thought to it. I'm just thinking, yes, winning is part of the equation, but the ability to win there, the ability to recruit, all the things that you pointed out. Still have Alabama's one. And again, this is a soft list. I not too much thought to it. Ohio State has got to be in your top 5, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Clemson right now, because of what Dabo has been able to do, historically not a top 5 program, but what he's been able to do the last decade, I think they're in there. I have Georgia. And maybe I'm drinking the juice, but I got A&M as a top 5 destination job for not because of what they've done, but because what they can do and the resources out there. And I have them above Oklahoma. I do. Now, historically, probably not, but where the trajectory right now, I have them above Oklahoma, above Notre Dame, because Notre Dame's got a lot of things going that hurt them in their recruiting process. LSU, sure, they should, you can make the argument, but I think they got a lot of things in the future that could really derail their program. Oregon, I don't know where to put them, but they are a phenomenal program, and they've got all the resources in the world. Then I have Texas and USC right outside the top 10. This is just me spitballing some ideas before the show.
Okay. I think you got to throw Notre Dame in there just because of the national appeal.
I got them at
did you?
Yeah, number 7. Yeah.
Yeah, do we do a break first? Or
we can take a break. I'm just throwing it out there as my thoughts, and I am willing to move it around, just spitballing some names out there. Let's go to the News and Social Center and catch up with Anna Rosa Peterson.
Good morning. How are y'all doing? I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah. Nebraska's not on that list,
They're
Anna.
not, and I don't expect them to be, and I don't want to talk about it. That's a sensitive subject for me. Our topic, what are the best jobs in college football and why? We'll get into that in a minute, but I'll go over some quick headlines. Volleyball, Texas A&M volleyball won its 6th straight match on Tuesday night, sweeping Texas State on the road. The Aggies elevated to 7-2 on the season, while the Bobcats fell to 2-8 overall. And in equestrian, the Texas A&M equestrian team enters the 2021-22 season ranked number 5 in the National Collegiate Equestrian Preseason Poll. The NCEA Selection Committee announced this on Tuesday, coming off a quarterfinals appearance at the NCEA Championships last season. Texas A&M returns 21 Aggies that saw competitive action from a year ago. So should be a good season for our Aggies here.
Good stuff there. What are some text messages you want to get into?
We have one subscriber that says it's LSU over everyone else. Unless Miles and Edo can win a national title at your school, I would have faith that almost any coach could.
I mean, he
That's
makes
a pretty good point. Yeah,
he makes a very good point. Look, I think LSU, if we're talking about today versus historically or the last 20 years, sure. But right now, I think LSU is a sinking ship. The program, the resources will still be there and all that good stuff, but that's not a job that I would be jumping to get right now if I were an up-and-coming coach.
LSU?
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
You would take it?
Yeah. I think
even knowing what we know potentially is out there for their future and whatnot.
What's potentially for the future? What is they may lose a few scholarships.
Sure.
There's just too many advantages there. LSU should never be bad. Now, Saban, I think, has done for LSU what Bear Bryant did for Alabama, in that it was an underachieving program for 3 decades, and Saban got in there and made it winning, and all of a sudden, all those LSU kids wanted to go to LSU again.
So, is that potentially what is happening here in College Station?
I think no. I think it's a little bit different. I think what Jimbo Fisher's doing is increasing A&M's national reach.
Okay,
they've always been able to get guys from Texas and Louisiana, and they still are. I mean, you go back to RC used to put out some top 10 teams, and he only recruited Texas.
Right.
What Jimbo's done is, I'm getting really good players in Texas, but I'm broadening my reach, and I'm going everywhere.
All right, let's continue this dialogue. We'll go through a better list that is coming from OB. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
This is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Even though we're currently closed, you can explore the Bush Library and Museum from the comfort of your own home. Visit the museum exhibits, Presidential Pond, Barbara Bush Rose Garden, and more with our virtual tour. Check out our permanent exhibits gallery online to view over 100 new photos showcasing different areas of the museum. View our education page to learn about the newest learning resources for teachers and students, and game apps. Don't forget to follow us on social media to see photos of our traveling exhibits, programs, and updates to the museum. Visit bush41.org for more information.
We have trucks. Yes, at Tom White Chevrolet, we have the cars, trucks, and SUVs you want today. New, used, and certified pre-owned. We have more stock coming in daily, and we won't be beat on price. And if you need quick cash, we are buying cars even if you don't buy from us. All roads lead to Tom White Chevrolet in Bryan College Station. Chevy, find new roads. More details at tomlight.com.
Tom White Chevrolet. We're here for you.
Please join Pink Alliance Thursday, September 30th for their 18th annual Surviving and Thriving Cancer Awareness Luncheon, sponsored by St. Joseph Health. Featuring Lori Allen, breast cancer survivor and reality star of Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta. Come hear Lori tell her story as we raise money to support breast cancer patients in the Brazos Valley. For tickets or more information, visit survivingandthriving.org. That's survivingandthriving.org.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Zwerneman Flooring, and the Sleep Station. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Texas Army National Guard. Aired by the Texas Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Game day on the Zone starts 3 hours before kickoff with the Twin Peaks pregame show, and it's powered by TexAgs.com. Game day on the Zone is brought to you in part by Gage Gandy Bail Bonds, Bobcat of the Brazos Valley, Tradition, Mobile One Lube, and Frontier Communications. After listening into the pregame show, you can hear every Aggie football game, home road national championship, right here on Sports Radio 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Welcome back. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. If you're in the market for an engagement ring, wedding band, or stackable anniversary ring, save the date for David Gardner's Ring in Season promotion. That is October the 13th through the 16th. David Gardner's will have an extended selection of diamonds, engagement rings, wedding bands, and more. Don't miss an opportunity to swing by while they have the largest selection of the year at the best prices. A link for appointments can be found on davidgardnersjewelers.com/engagement/purchasing and engagement ring. Just go to davidgardnersjewelers.com. How about that? All right, we're going to continue. We have a couple things I want to get into this segment, but I did want to hear from OB on his list. Top whatever, top 7, top 10, top 5, top 12, whatever. I had USC right outside of the top 10 for me and what I envision as a top program. But again, everything is in what you like and what you look at. I can open up the text lines as well. 979-693-1150, the A&B text line, or you can call the BCSI Associates hotline under that same number. Obi, you come up with a little bit of a list?
Well, here's some, in no particular order, but definitely the teams I'd put in the top 10. I would put Texas and Texas A&M. I would put LSU, Florida, Georgia, Ohio State, USC, Notre Dame, National Reach. I'm probably going to leave somebody out. I agree with you, Oregon, because of their national reach and they got all the Nike money behind them. After that,
did you have Oklahoma in there?
Yeah, I didn't, but I would. I'd put Oklahoma, the proximity to Texas there. But see, yeah. And then I guess Clemson now. But, like Michigan, anytime you have to rely heavily, and Oklahoma is kind of is kind of different, but anytime you have to rely heavily on another state to produce your talent, I think you're in trouble.
Sure, but they've done it well. They've done it well. And one of the discussions you and I were having earlier,
they did it a lot of times when Ohio State didn't have a coach that had a lot of charisma.
Sure.
So then Ohio players would go to Michigan, just like when Mac Brown was at Texas. Oklahoma didn't recruit Texas as well, but Stoops went out to California and Las Vegas and did well there.
So one of the discussions we were having about A&M versus Texas in this discussion, we both feel they are in that top tier, whatever that may be, top 3, top 5, top 12, whatever. And for a long time, people use Austin as the reason to beat A&M in recruiting. Do you really want to live in College Station? You can live in Austin with beautiful, hills and 6th Street and all. And we were discussing, do you really want to live in Austin with all that traffic? A lot of, let's say, downtown atmosphere is not appealing to a family for sure, or maybe even a college student. A&M, or College Station, I should say, in Bryan, this is an up-and-coming community, and I told you at the break, I believe it reminds me of Austin in the 90s when Austin was that up-and-coming city in a different lot of charm that has always been here. But if you're looking for a small town but the ability to feel like big city and also be close to big city.
Yeah, see, I don't think of Austin as a college town anymore, and I lived there. It's now a big city with a college in it. The same way, now, it's closer because Texas, again, has its national brand, but same way, Nashville is not a college town. It's a big city with a college in it. Do you think of Miami as a college town?
Not at all.
And that's the way I think Austin is trending. Plus,
but in the 90s they were considered, right?
Yeah. They had that election over there a few months ago to limit or maybe change some rules about the camping, which is a different way to say dealing with the vagrants,
right?
And because they had people that were setting up their tents right out in front of businesses and doing all the unsightly things that occur with that. My wife went over there for my son and saw someone defecate on the street and use a hypodermic, right there in front of him. She grabbed my son and said, look at this. This is what happens when you do drugs, right? So you had to deal with all that. Is that where you want to send your kid? In that, I mean, I know it's not like that everywhere, but that's
right.
Some of the.
And Austin is beautiful, but if you're going to point at certain things about College Station, we can point at certain things at Austin. There's a lot of beauty in Austin.
Oh, I love it.
Beyond 6th Street and downtown and whatnot.
But where do the college kids go?
6th Street. I think, I don't know.
They still do.
I'm their dad.
I had someone say one time, College Station has no lakes. I'm like, no, wait a minute. I lived in Austin. If I want to go to Lake Travis with the traffic, it's going to take me an hour to get out there. I can be from College Station. I can be at Lake Conroe in an hour.
Right.
So is that what you think? I think you can make a strong argument that A&M and College Station is now every bit, if not more so, an attractive venue for athletes because of the college state is a college town. But it all comes down to this. You can say whatever you want about location and lakes and college town. It's the coaches and the kind of guys you make you have a relationship with, and the way and how much your program is into it. Because if it wasn't, then Hawaii would win the national championship.
100%. And Miami and USC, they can. There's no doubt about it. And you said it earlier. It all comes down to the right fit and the right coach. Because what makes a top program is if you have the right coach at Texas, you're going to win. If you have the right coach at A&M, you're going to win. I don't know if you have the right coach at the University of Houston, you're going to win a national championship. I don't know. There's too many other variables out there. That same coach at another school does, but the right coach at these elite programs that we're discussing, you're going to win. What that means, a national championship or consistent conference titles, I don't know. But to me, it is all about the coach and the fit.
Yeah, and for those, by the way, I want to point this out. For those that would dismiss A&M as being a top 5 job, I would say you don't know your college football history. Now, I get it when A&M was an all-male school of 6,000, but now Jackie Sherrill left Pitt when Pitt was one of the top elite programs in the country and just won a national championship. He left Pitt. R.C. Slocum was offered a job at LSU and in the Arizona Cardinals. He elected to stay at Texas A&M. Dennis Francione was out Alabama. He left Alabama for Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher, they laughed when they said, oh, A&M's going after Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher came to Texas A&M. What keeps you from seeing that A&M is obviously a top 5 job and say, well, that's because they paid them so much? Yes. That is part of the reason it's a top 5 job. Now, I will say this, for RC and Jackie and even for Dennis to a certain degree, A&M still had not gone 100% in like they and I'm talking about in the entire program like they have for Jimbo Fisher.
Sure. When we come back, I want to get into reasons for optimism. There's a lot of reasons for optimism, and they were there before the season started. And a change at quarterback because of injury isn't going to change my reasons, so we'll get into that. OB will give you some reasons as well. But right now, let's talk about the Association of Former Students. You know they got game day activities. You know they got Rain Day coming up. You know they're working on Aggie Park. And Aggie Park is going to be amazing, guys. You really, really, really want to take a look at it. They began that construction earlier this summer or during the middle of the summer, and it's expected to be ready by 2022. And they're going to have a completion of a new facility. It's going to host Ring Day. It's going to have other student stuff going on out there in 2023. It's going to be amazing. Sure, they're working on things right now, and it's an inconvenience right now, but very temporary. Those interruptions, we went through it with Bluebell. We went through it with Kyle Field. It's going to be well worth it once Aggie Park is ready to roll. And I'll tell you what, they need your help because Aggies need your help out there, and that's why the association is here, there, and everywhere. $100 a year, $9 a month. You're going to get the decal, the plaque, the Texas Aggie magazine, and you are continuing the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping other Aggies. To learn more about the impact of the association, you can call Chelsea Reber or you can visit aggienetwork.com/giving.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The Elizabeth House Maternity Home Annual Banquet is this Thursday at the Ice House on Main. Find more at elizabethhousematernityhome.com. Learning at the library with the Brazos County Master Gardeners is this Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Mounts Library. The Brazos Valley African American Museum announces the 500 Giving Campaign to raise funds for a museum director. Be one of the 500 by going online to bvaam.org. The Bryan High Fine Arts Department presents These Shining Lives. Performances run September 23rd through October 2nd. Purchase tickets online at bryanhightheater.ludus.com. Help the Brazos Valley Food Bank bring hope to the table. Go online to bvfb.org. Your home for the NFL with Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night NFL from Westwood One is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Listen in from the first week to the Super Bowl on Aggieland's home for sports. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
The love that I have for Texas A&M is just feeling so much a part of the school, feeling like there's always people there to support you, that you've got a friend no matter what.
I'd want to give a student the chance to do something they want to do. And the association, I know, gave a lot of my friends the ability to go forward and to actually pick the major they wanted, do the studies they wanted to do.
When I started thinking about college, I had one goal in mind, and that was my parents will not pay for my schooling.
There's a lot of kids out there who are going to make good Aggies, and we ought to give them a chance, and I'm willing to put my share in to try to help them.
Of all of our traditions that are well known, the one that sometimes gets passed over and just taken for granted is perhaps the greatest, and that's Aggies helping Aggies.
To learn more about the association's impact or to make a gift, visit tx.ag/giving.
Bryan Broadcasting is your home for high school football. Bryan High, A&M Consolidated, Rudder, and College Station High play on the Bryan Broadcasting family of stations. No matter where you are, hear every play, every game, all season long, thanks to Prosperity Bank, Kellybert Dozer, Zwerneman Flooring, and BCS Toyota. To find out when and where to hear your favorite team, go to brazosfootball.com.
Listening to The Zone on your smart speaker is easy. If Louie can do it, anyone can do it. 2 simple steps, and you can hear Chip Howard Sports Talk, TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, or Aggie football, basketball, or baseball on your smart speaker. Step 1, and one time only needed, say Enable Zone 1150 Skill. Then anytime you want to hear your favorite host or teams, all you have to do is say, play Zone 1150. Make sure to set it up and say, Enable Zone 1150 Skill. And then listen in anytime just by saying, play Zone 1150.
Welcome back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Rollo Insurance is the official insurance provider of TexAgs Radio. The difference is real. They're an independent insurance company built around educating you on exactly what you're paying for, doing the shopping for you so you can accomplish all of your insurance goals. And they do it all right here in College Station on Highway 6 in College Station. Call 888-44-ROLLO or go to rolloinsurance.com. I slam my pen down like I'm angry, but I'm not angry, OB, even though I'm sounding like I'm angry. It's like the Anchorman scene. I am actually in a good mood, and I want to talk a little bit about reasons to be optimistic, because typically if a team is down, a team with Super Bowl aspirations,
national championship aspirations.
Well, I'm just going through it.
You're including it. Okay, I'm sorry.
You know, let's say you're a World Series championship contender and you lose your starting pitcher. There's reasons to be like, I don't know. But I'm optimistic, and I got a couple reasons for you to feel optimistic. I'd love to hear yours. But before I do that, I want to preface it with this. We didn't see that much from Haynes this year to make it that huge of a loss. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a big loss. But we only saw not even 5 quarters worth of Haynes King. So it is early enough to now get a real feel. And if it was a quarterback competition, and I believe it was somewhat of a competition, that Zach did some things that made it interesting to make Jimbo hold off on naming a starter until the week before the season. All those reasons aside, and yes, what I saw with my eyes on Saturday, some concerned me, some did not concern me. I have reasons for optimism. And the number one reason I have optimism is because the DNA of A&M was and still will be running the ball and defense. Yes, they have to throw downfield to win a national championship, which is part of the skill set that I think Calzada has. But the defense is one of the best in all of the world, or all of the country. They can make adjustments at halftime to stop a team doing what they want to do. What is the mark of a good defense? Taking out what you do best. We saw it with the Patriots. We saw it with Alabama, and I believe A&M is doing that. I think Georgia's doing that. That's the reason. The other reason, and it's tied in with that first reason I gave you, was the running backs. I recognize that A&M was not able to run last week, partially because I think they abandoned it early in trying to find a rhythm for their quarterbacks. But they are too good. They have different types of running backs. So if you stack the box, if you take out the outside, guess what? They have 3 different styles of guys that they can put out there and call it a wrap. And my third reason is the coaching, and it goes back, all 3 are tied together, right? But we know that Jimbo can get a quarterback ready. He's done it, backups, starters, 5-star, 4-star, whatever. He is excellent at getting a quarterback ready to play. We've seen that before. We'll see it again. He's one of the top coaches in college football for a reason. I have faith because of that. And throw in, Mike Elko, one of the best defensive coordinators in all of the land, who we're seeing in real time make adjustments when things aren't going great in the first half, making adjustments at the halftime that completely stifle an offense. All those reasons, I still think we're playing for the exact same thing we were earlier. I want to see more film because I only have a few quarters of Zach Calzada to make a definitive answer. But all the other reasons around him make me optimistic.
Well, I'm not even thinking national championship anymore. I'm thinking winning week to week, the way coaches always say. But I think now it's even more obvious. Now, Jimbo Fisher did beat a highly ranked Clemson team with Sean McGuire as quarterback when Jameis Winston was in one of his issues. I don't know if it was an injury or if it's crab legs or whatever. But I do think this is going to test his quarterback coaching acumen as much as he's ever been tested. Not because Zach Calzada isn't talented, but because the way he started last week. But if I'm looking for reasons to be optimistic, I'm going to start with the defense that's given up 2 touchdowns in 2 games. Now, is it great opponents? You could question that, but the running back from Colorado was the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year last year. It's not that, he's a stiff, right. and you shut him down. You got to do better on the zone read, taking the quarterback on the zone read. But they know that. And they did better in the second half. So that's what I'm looking at. First of all, you mentioned the adjustments. Completely shut down Colorado in the second half. You can say Colorado's not that good. Well, they moved the ball in the first half.
And then they didn't.
So then if I'm looking for a reason for optimism with Zach Calzada, I'm going to say just look at the last 2 drives. One was impressive in that he took them down there. He made some plays. They were able to go down there and look like they were going to score the winning touchdown, and he fumbled it away. Okay, can find some encouragement that he was able to lead a drive and almost scored. But then he comes back after fumbling it away when you could just think the whole world is again. I mean, that could scramble your brain completely. And he makes some of the best throws he's made in that game. The last 2, the one on 3rd and 8 to Isaiah Spiller that for a first down was it was a remarkable throw and catch. And then the touchdown that won it was as nice a throw as you'll see. Running to your left, away from pressure, putting touch on the ball. So I can look at those things. And then the third thing is, we know that A&M has skill positions. We know they've got receivers. We know they got running backs. They know heck of a tight end. There were plays to be made.
Yes, there were.
I agree with you in that Jimbo abandoned the run too much, but I can understand why he did, because the defense was dictating the throw, and the guys were open. Not Chase Lane. He kept going to Chase Lane when Lane was covering. He's got to work on getting more separation, things like that. But there were plays to be made. Anaya Smith one time, I guess the ball got tipped and it didn't get to him.
Jalen
Weidemeyer a couple of times. So
even Spiller.
Yeah. One time, Spiller was wide open. It's going to be a 20-yard gain. He threw it over his head.
Yep.
But he settled down. See, and that's, if I'm looking for a reason. Also, he threw a nice deep ball to a well-covered Chapman. And I think Chapman catches that ball 9 times out of 10, and it got away from him. So it makes me think that maybe you want to let Calzada throw deep more.
And I hate bringing this back up, but the altitude maybe makes a difference in throwing the ball. It makes a difference when you hit home runs. It makes a difference when you throw the ball. I don't know if that played with him a little bit, just not being used to it. I'm grasping at straws here, but it may have.
Maybe it did. You know why I don't think it did? Or maybe it did because he had to get used to it, right? Usually I've heard that altitude wears on you, right? But I think he just came in and he was hyperventilating. He was almost, I don't want to call him panicked, but he wasn't expecting to play and thrust in there, and we're throwing, and I'm throwing over. What do they say when you're overthrowing things? When you're putting too much into it, that's when it sails on you and you overthrow guys. So I just think in that moment he was too amped up, too hyped up, whatever the way you want to put it, too exuberant, however you want to put it. Exuberant to me almost is a positive thing, and I want to make sure this is negative, but that he settled down. And when he settled down, he became, now let's not overstate it, he didn't become a great quarterback, but he became an effective quarterback. And really, if that defense plays that way and the guys you have around you, you need to be effective.
And to me, the most important aspect of the offense completely is the offensive line. Because if they can create holes for those running backs, if they can protect Zach, I think he will have the time and the confidence to do what he needs to do. The more of what we saw in the second half as opposed to what we saw in the first half, I think the line overall as a unit was not ready in that first half.
Maybe, but I also think that Colorado might be better than we think, first of all, and second on defense, and secondly they were playing the run all the way, and I thought Haynes passed up a chance on the first third down to run for an easy first down, and but I do think that Colorado was overplaying the run, and had Zach Calzada been more accurate and maybe not so excited,
picked them apart,
he would have had some completions, and Colorado would have had to say, okay, we got to rethink this, relax, maybe not putting 8 and cheating somebody up before the snap, and would have had to play more base, and then I think you would have seen A&M's running game take off.
I love seeing this because I see it on the message boards, and I think it myself. I was thinking it Saturday, but when you look at A&M's opponents, you're telling us that Colorado's probably going to be better than we thought.
No, they might be.
I think from what I saw, they should be, right? I love comparing what they do the following week or what their schedule looks like. So I'm looking right now at Colorado's schedule. We'll know a little bit more about them over the next 2 weeks. They got Minnesota this weekend,
and then
they got Arizona State, top 25 team there, number 19. So the 2 games in a row, we might be justified in our thinking, like, look how they played against those 2 teams. So that's A. Kent State, they put up 1,000,000 yards last week. I forgot who they were playing. Was it VMI? I think it was VMI.
Yeah.
I think they had like 700 and something yards. I know it's just VMI, but that's still a lot of offense no matter who you're playing. This week, they're taking on a legit Iowa team.
Yes, they are.
If they put up some offense against Iowa, running, pass, whatever they do, another reason to be like, see, Kent State was better than we thought. Then they got Maryland the week after.
I think A&M is going to be as good as Zach Calzada moving forward. And I think if he's good, A&M is going to be good. I think if he struggles, A&M is going to struggle. Now, they're going to have to – doesn't mean they can't win games. They just won a game where they didn't play well.
Right.
But you're going to – I don't know that – you want to ask your pitcher to go out there and allow just one run every time out. And that's what you might be asking about the A&M defense unless Zach – and I don't think he has to be great. I think what Zach Calzada needs to do is make the ordinary play. When your guy is 15 yards downfield, Jalen Weidemeyer, and he's wide open, you can't throw it 5 feet over his head. Like one time he's at the 10-yard line. It's going to be a touchdown if you and they throw it. He threw it 5 yards over his head. The same guy comes back and in that last drive made some pinpoint passes. So that's again, he settled down. Is he going to stay settled down? Glad they got New Mexico this week.
Yeah, me too. You like to walk, right?
Yeah.
You
I
told
do.
us at the top
I
of the
do.
show. Yeah, you don't mind. You like nature, right?
Yeah, I do.
I got an idea for you. This is
Okay.
what I call a great segue.
All right.
I think you need to go to Milliken Reserve and just walk, baby. Just walk. Just enjoy nature at its finest. One day we'll do that as two old guys just walking on.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Old guys walking at the park. Milliken Reserve, a farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces, and their mission is to build a healthy community around nature. And I love it. I've been there several times, and I just went last week to the farm and picked up our veggies. So good. 2,600 acres of open space, farms, 30 miles of trails, and homes. You got hiking, biking, canoeing, kayaking, equestrian trails, evening yoga, summer camps, music festivals, farmers markets, farm tours, and an amazing neighborhood. You just got to go check it out. If you like land, that is the kind of land you want to be at. Go check them out in their annual Pumpkin Palooza, October 16th through the 17th. You can learn more at millikenreserve.com. You won't regret it. Check out the beautiful open space they have out there.
I need to take out kayaking.
You're listening to The Zone. Aggie Land's all sports station.
If you own construction equipment and need custom hydraulic hoses, get 10% off at WPI. WPI also has the best price in town for DEF at $8.50 for 2.5 gallons. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From O-rings and teeth, buckets and blades, any part for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marino Road, or click WPI.com.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family. Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around, and every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect, in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at storycorpsconnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Presented by Polaris Fund Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country. And Aggie Land is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Polaris Fund Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV. Or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fund Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on The Zone.
TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. In my happy man voice, we're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. I'm with OB for one final segment of the Go Hour. And OB, I want to thank you.
What for?
Because you provided a little perspective that I needed to hear in my analysis moving forward. You gave me coach speak, but coach speak that I think is very adequate for where we are right now. You told me you're going to look at it game by game, week by week, right? And I just broke the microphone. Instead of looking at the entire picture, because I think heading into the season, it was all about A&M robbed of last year's college football playoffs, but they won the Orange Bowl. How is that going to translate to this year? Potentially a better quarterback, potentially the offensive line at some point will be better, if not this year, in the next couple of years, blah, blah, blah. And I think you're right, especially knowing what we went through this past week against Colorado. The perspective is, let's just take it week by week. This is another game the A&M is going to be favored in. Hopefully they'll be favored in the Arkansas game as well. I think they will. I think week by week is the right approach when looking at where we are with the quarterback situation and some of the issues that have popped up this season.
Yeah, I think what you want to do is hope to see improvement in Zach Calzada, improvement in the offensive line, and improvement in defense in the run defense, even though we saw that. But, to start, I say week to week. I'm not really worried about this week.
No, but you're saying in the big picture.
KJ Jefferson looked like, I watched that Texas game, looked like a guy that can hurt you on the zone read if you're not careful. All right? Even though I haven't seen Will Rogers run, so maybe that's not going to be as big an issue. But, you're going to have some quarterbacks that can keep it and run, and the next one's going to be KJ Jefferson. So I just want to see them get better, starting with Calzada. And I think everybody had every reason to think national championship or SEC championship or whatever. Hey, this is possible. But when you lose your starting quarterback, I think you kind of, what's the word you use on your recalibrate?
Recalibrate, yeah.
Yeah. And then you start saying, okay, let's just win this game. Let's see if you can get to 5-0 with Alabama coming in. And then if you get by Alabama, start talking about it again.
I think Arkansas could have been a tough game with Haynes or not, with Kellen or not, right? I mean, even though there's been domination of that program, they seem to be on the way up. We seem to be on the way up. But I think that perspective is perfect for where we are right now, because there are questions that have popped up after week 2. There are some serious questions, and I think some of those questions to me start on the offensive line, which I saw improvement in the second half. I want to see more. I'm going to actually talk to Chris Landry, the great scout here at 9:05, and ask him, because
when seconds matter in the game, every single decision made can mean a big win or a frustrating loss. When it comes to buying your next home and selling your existing home in the current market, every decision can mean serious money. Aggie fans, it's Dave South, and as you know, I've studied the best players and the best teams to represent our A&M family. One thing I've learned over the years, the best coaches have the respect of their team and the 12th man, you, the fans. In Bryan College Station, no realtor has more 5-star reviews on Google than Lance Lester and his team at the Lester Group. Why is that? Simple. No one offers more options that benefit you. If you want to buy your next home before you sell your current home, Lance can help you do that. If you want to know the date and price that you can count on your home selling for, Lance can guarantee it in writing. When the game is on the line, you want a leader with a proven track record calling the shots. Get your home sold faster and for the most money. Work with my friend Lance Lester and the Lester Group. Go to thelestergroup.com. That's thelestergroup.com and experience lightning in a bottle selling your home.
This is Aggieland's home for Aggie football, Aggie basketball, and Aggie baseball. It's only 11:50 a.m. and 93.7 FM. Plus online at RadioAggieland.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. One of the mottos at Texas A&M, fearless leadership, was challenged during Monday's Faculty Senate meeting. That's after the president repeatedly said she will continue to follow pandemic protocols from the governor and the A&M system.
The Senate might consider a resolution to change that motto until we can actually demonstrate fearless leadership and stop being preoccupied by the governor's political ambition.
Before the statement from Senator Adam Haney, Faculty Senate Speaker-elect Patricia Smith continued to call for specific metrics that would result in moving A&M in-person classes online.
Saying that 3,100 cases is not that bad is not satisfactory. One death, not being able to answer a question about how many deaths were okay, just kind of blowing that question off really was disconcerting.
Speaker Dale Rice said A&M's communication over masking has been an absolute joke and a dismal failure. The Brazos County Health District has reported 27 pandemic deaths during September. A woman in her 40s is the 302nd local pandemic death. Brazos County Health District Director Santos Navarrete expects more flu cases this season.
The mask wearing, the social distancing, the hand hygiene, we're not doing that anymore. So we'll see influenza rate cases go up this year as well.
There were 2,600 flu cases last year. The year before that, there were 7,500. A copy of Navarrette's pandemic update to commissioners is available at WTAW.com. Last night's Bryan City Council meeting included a monthly update on multiple construction projects at Midtown Park.
The Legends Event Center concrete work continues from west to east, and underground plumbing and electrical commenced this week. Site utilities are almost complete for the satellite parking lot.
City Manager Keene Register says weather delays have pushed back the completion of new baseball fields until November. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field, and now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at EnergyOgre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
Since 1957, Slovacek Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovacek is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovacek. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovacek Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. 7th-ranked Texas A&M football boasts one of the most formidable run games in the country, with star backs Isaiah Spiller and Vaughn A-Chain. However, the Aggies mustered only 97 yards on the ground in last Saturday's win over Colorado. Coach Jimbo Fisher says, hey, give credit to the Buffalo's defense.
Got in gaps, played physical, fit to run. We had pulls and sometimes knocked us on our can. At times we're more physical than us, closed gaps, and we missed a cut every now and then, and we would just be on a block and hold it and then just fall off at the end where we were just inches from pulling through.
Now to hear more from Coach, tune into the Jimbo Fisher Coaches Show tonight from 8 to 9 on 1620 94.5 WTAW. Aggie volleyball continued its hot streak last night, sweeping past Texas State in 3 sets. Morgan Christian led the way for the Maroon and White, notching 14 kills as the ladies improved to 7-2 on the year. Texas A&M men's golfer Sam Bennett is tied for 5th after 2 rounds of play at the Merido Collegiate Invitational. The team, the 16th-ranked guys, are tied for 5th with number 9 Texas Tech. And women's golfer Blanca Fernandez Garcia Poggio won the first championship of her career, and the Aggie women finished with a program record 14 under at the Sam Golden Invitational. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
The Bellucci Hour Happy Hour is a must part of any Aggie football season. Join Billy Lucci of TexAgs and Zach Taylor, the Infomaniac, every Monday and Thursday at 6 at the Tap. Or listen in right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Bellucci Hour Happy Hour every Monday, Thursday at 6 is brought to you by King Ranch Saddle Shop. Also brought to you in part by B&B Automotive. It's the Bellucci Hour Happy Hour.
Welcome back. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Getting ready to have Chris Landry on, our good friend of the program who breaks down things like nobody else. He is phenomenal what he does, so we'll catch up with him here on the BCSI hotline in a moment. As a reminder, all guests and callers that join the show, join us on that BCSI hotline. You no longer have to drive to Houston or Dallas or Austin for major eye surgery such as glaucoma or cataract issues. Let Dr. K take care of you right here in the BCS. They are located on the top level of the Physician Center. Call 979-701-2020 or check out mybcsi.com. And with that, we go to Chris Landry, the former scout coach, does it all, breaks it all down. Love following him on Twitter over the weekend as he watches 1,000 games somehow at the same time. Chris, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good this morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. So obviously I want to start off with Zach Calzada. Just your initial thoughts after you see him struggle mightily in that first half and then kind of weathered the storm and having a very effective fourth quarter.
Well, I think the last part you said needs to be emphasized. I think the couple of things to keep in mind that when a quarterback goes down, particularly a young quarterback, and they have, in terms of experience, young quarterbacks, both of them, but they're different skill sets. So I don't know. I'm sure you've talked about it, but I'm not sure that fans understand that, when you prepare for a game, the starting quarterback has to get anywhere from 75 to 85% of the reps. And while the backup quarterback absorbs the game plan mentally, you just don't get as many reps to get prepared. So when you have a quarterback go down in a game, there are two things that are at play here. One, the opposition is not as maybe familiar with the backup. In this case, there's not a whole lot of tape on either one for Colorado, but you also have a quarterback that's not as comfortable or as absorbed in the game plan, not mentally, but just physically, and repped it a lot. So what you saw was a lot of that. And, I think that people that maybe don't realize how difficult it is, particularly for young guys to have success, particularly in the passing game. Mobile quarterbacks, athletic quarterbacks can have easier impact because they can use their legs. They force defenders to play them differently, and you can create half-field reads. What you saw with Zach is struggles in being able to read properly where the coverages were. They made adjustments in game. I don't know how many people can really see it, but I can tell you they made adjustments because I could see it of we're going to do some things for him to scheme guys open to make it easier. He still, it settled him a little, but he still missed a lot. So listen, the guy is very talented. I thought he showed mobility in making plays. And I think the biggest thing to take out of it is the guy drove him down, almost got him in the end zone. I mean, he did everything but hold on to it at the goal line. Then you think, well, that's it. Defense, which was the star of the game, kept giving them chances. And what did Zach do? Brought them down again. So in terms of when they absolutely had to have it, the guy came through. That, to me, impressed me more than anything because for quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in particular, but any quarterback, they can go in a shell when they're struggling. They make a misread. They throw a bad ball. They get very shaky at times. This kid didn't show that. He showed some flatlining ability. So coming out of it, I was more impressed. If you had told me that Dane Kings is going out of the game this week against Colorado, and Zach has to come in the first quarter, how's it going to go? And I'd say not very well. It went better than I thought. People say, "Hey, only scored 10 points." There's not going to be a whole lot there. We're not talking about a very settled quarterback situation with either one, and we're just going to have to see how much better Zach can get. And people have asked me a bunch about, well, the running game one is good. Yeah, well, you're seeing 8.5, sometimes 9 guys in the box. They're gonna force the quarterback to beat you. They're not going to let the good running game beat you. So there were too many numbers to block, and I think that is something that we're going to have to see going forward. This is a game that's very important this week in terms of assignment, technique, getting things in line, because it's going to be tougher for this team with their quarterback situation once you get into conference play.
All right, so let's go back into that a little bit because I was curious about what Colorado was doing to really stop the running game. We saw, we didn't see it all last year, a team really effectively force A&M into passing situations. How was it the offensive line that wasn't getting the push? Was it all about Colorado's front, and our team's going to be doing this the rest of the way until Zach can prove that he can throw?
Yes, and as I mentioned, the numbers, too many guys to block. They played numbers in the box. They basically cheated 8.5, sometimes 9 guys, and they would drop them out on a post snap at times. But they were going to take away the run. They were going to put numbers in the run and say, go out and beat us. And they play some single high, but it was all numbers. And yes, that's what teams are going to do. And they're going to have to make plays in the passing game, or quarterback's going to have to make plays with his feet at times. People are going to overplay the run and play numbers in the box, David, when you can't throw the football effectively. But because they didn't throw it effectively this past week, doesn't mean that it won't get better with reps. How much better? Don't know. That's what we're going to have to see, but it'll get better. You never stay the same. I don't care who you are. You never stay the same. Player, coach, team, either get better or get worse. So I know the answer is, well, or is this going to affect them? We don't know how A&M stacks up in the West. They're good, but so are other teams. The quarterback play could be a deciding factor, and don't know how well he's going to progress. All we know is kind of what their staff has been able to do in the past, and we'll see how well it goes going forward. But absolutely, people are going to overplay the run, and until they're able to make them beat them with the passing game, and that is the ball comes out quicker. There's a lot of things you can implement in the game plan that really were done on the fly Saturday against I think a better team than probably most people think, but that's going to be the game plan against them, and that's what they're going to be faced with.
It is the Texas A&M Scouting Report with Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com. All right, Chris, we talked about how the offense made adjustments and made life better for Zach. How about the defense? They were lights out after that half. I mean, they did not allow anything against Colorado. What did you see that they changed?
Well, I thought they did a really good job. They struggled early when Colorado ran some zone read stuff, and they didn't set the edge very well. But then they really did a good job. They kind of reestablished the line of scrimmage, did a better job. One of the things you have to do in an RPO game, in any misdirection game, anything, you've got to be able to set the edge. What does that really mean? You've got to rush to the heels of the offensive tackles and not get too far upfield. I thought that they got caught up a good bit. I thought they settled in. They made really good adjustments at basically setting the edge and mush rushing a little bit, and they control the line of scrimmage. They began to kind of establish the line of scrimmage there. I thought the linebackers really overran a lot of plays early in that inside run game. Those are some of the adjustments that they made. Did a little bit better job with their run fits, not being over aggressive. The big thing in defensive football, it's about assignment. There are a myriad of ways to do it, but you've got 7 gaps to defend, and everybody has to be in their gap and do their job. And a lot of times what you have is say, go out and make a play. Well, you've got to make a play within an assignment, because you can't go and override and do something and chase, because on a cutback, on a quick release throw, you got nobody doing your job, and you're going to be reamed for it. So I think one of the things that I saw early is just from an aggressive standpoint, over-aggressive standpoint, they adjusted what Colorado was doing in some of the RPO games. So I thought it was a really good job. I think that, the other thing that A&M does probably more than anybody in the SEC, Mike does it, Mike Elko, they show as many they stem their front more than anybody. They show more pre-snap movements and then adjust to it post-snap than anybody. And I just thought they got out of position a little bit, and I thought they were able to really do a good job making those adjustments with their run fits, and just much more sound there. And I didn't think this Colorado offense would have enough explosiveness, particularly against this A&M defense. But that was, beyond expectation, because with the offense missing opportunities and not being able to get it done, the defense is back on the field and back on the field and back on the field. The other thing, and I didn't know this until talking to a couple of the coaches, that the defense, and this is where I think you've got something that you can build upon. The defense never got frustrated. I was told that behind the scenes they would say, just give us one, but we'll stop them. We'll get it back for you. And again, I thought in the end they were able to get it done. So, but defensively, I thought the whole game they did a tremendous job.
Let me go back to the offense for a minute, because one of the things that keeps popping up is the wide receivers not having the effectiveness that people expected. Is it a separation thing? Is it a route thing? What did you see?
Yeah, well, they didn't separate very well, but you got to understand something, that the delivery and the timing's off. Remember that you're dealing in a completely different operational system. With Zach, you're dealing in more of a drop back. It's not that he can't move, but the footwork, every route concept ties into, as a pocket passer, it corresponds with the depth of the drop. So a 3, 5, 7, 9 step drop is going to correspond to the depth of the routes. And that timing was off and the delivery was off. So all of a sudden you've got your guy beat for a second, but if the ball's not out on time, then he's covered, so you're only open for a brief period of time, milliseconds here. So that timing wasn't there. Now, a lot of what they'll plan to do with Haynes King is a little bit of some different route concepts, where you're utilizing and moving the pocket. Maybe something they're going to do with Zach a little bit more as they look at it, maybe some design rollouts, but I thought the timing wasn't really good. And while there were times that the receivers didn't get separation, there were other times where they were open for a brief moment. But I think some indecision on where to go with the football. And the other thing, too, is just don't turn it over. When you've got a defense that's playing well, the last thing they get out of there with an L if they turn the football over and give a short field to Colorado. So I think a lot of that was, receivers at times were winning in their routes, but only for a short time, and the ball wasn't out there quick enough. And let's just make sure we live for another play, and let's play for field position, and let's try to figure it out. Maybe we can get him settled. So I think a lot of what people saw is not necessarily what we're going to see going forward. Meaning, I'm not saying it's going to be all, seashells and balloons going forward. What I'm saying is what they're going to do strategically going forward with the quarterback in the passing game is going to be quite a bit different, because you're now going to get a full game plan of getting a guy worked in of what he needs to do and what he needs to look for. And a lot of what he's seen thus far was things he was repping mentally, but physically it's a different ball game once you have to see it and react to it. You can't think on the field. You have to react, and you have to know it so well that it just becomes second nature. And it wasn't second nature for him for whatever reason, and I think it's just the lack of experience.
Chris Landry with us, LandryFootball.com. Chris, I do want to ask you about Isaiah Spiller, because in a game where he wasn't able to effectively run the ball, he found a way to matter. That touchdown catch there in the end zone, phenomenal. Obviously, Zach got hot, and he found a way to affect the game.
No question about it. He's an outstanding back. He's one of the best, I thought, in the league. I think he's got great leadership, got great toughness. I think he runs under his pads, and certainly the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, do multiple things for you. Look, they're going to have to run the football. We just kind of discussed about what the problems were. This team is going to have to live around the running game. It was going to have to live around the running game regardless who's the quarterback is. And I think you can objectively, I can look and question, are they going to be good enough to finish as high as maybe A&M fans think with their quarterback play? That's to be determined. They're going to have to run the football well. He's going to be a big part of it, and they're going to have to scheme that run game a little bit. And a lot of what they're going to have to do is going to have to, work some spread looks, work the tight ends, going to have to get guys the numbers out of the box, because that's going to be much more difficult to block. The other thing, I didn't get into it a great deal, and there were numbers, but I do think the offensive line struggled with Colorado's size. And to some degree, it's quickness. So I think those are some issues that when we talk about quarterback play, we talk about receivers, those are things sometimes that you have to look at. Sometimes when the ball doesn't come out as quick, it's protection issues. It's guys can't win on the route quick enough because the offensive line's not protecting well enough. So I think it was a tri-full effort. I think all three, receivers getting open, offensive line protection issues, and really line of scrimmage issues in the run game, having to block numbers in the box, and a quarterback that's young, it was a kind of a perfect storm of uphill battle for this offense.
Hey, let me ask you about New Mexico. Do you know much about them? They're 2-0. I know they haven't taken on the level of talent that A&M has, but Any issues with them?
The issues are not about, and this is important to understand, folks, it's not about what the margin of victory is, whether it's a 10-point or a 17-point or victory. None of that matters. What matters is how you play, how you execute, how you handle things from an assignment standpoint. That's where you can determine. People always say, well, I don't know how good a team is. They haven't played anybody. Well, there are things you can tell. Assignment, effort, execution, technique are things that are fundamental and are transferable. The results are not transferable because the results are the direct result of who you play. But if you play sloppy, you play poor, you have assignment errors, that may not manifest itself in a close game. You still might dominate the game on the statistic or the scoreboard, but may not be getting better. So the real key is getting better, particularly offensively. The things we talked about today, everything that we went over, offensive line, quarterback, receivers, passing game, establishing the run, all those things they've got to get better with. I think it's going to be interesting. Look, it's a different team. Last year, I wasn't here with you, but I'm sure there was a sky is falling theory after the Vanderbilt game. And look, you wouldn't have given nobody gave a nickel's chance for A&M last year after that. Now, you had an experienced quarterback. You've got talented quarterbacks that are inexperienced, and people are going to play them that way. So the challenge is going to be to get those guys ready. Obviously, we're talking about Zach as Haynes is going to be out for quite some time, and work through that. That's the reality of it. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. And, in a couple of weeks, they're going to play an Arkansas team that's better than I gave them credit for. And right now, I don't know how they would match up against them. That, to me, is going to be a game that's going to be a lot more challenging than probably a lot of A&M fans think. So I'm curious to see how well they navigate this game just to get ready from an assignment, effort, execution, technique standpoint.
Chris, we appreciate it as always, my friend. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Thank you, buddy. I always feel smarter after talking to Chris, and I start using it with my friends there in public. That's what I do. I just pretend like I'm Chris. Good stuff, as always, there from Chris Landry. Want to remind you guys to text radio to 900-900 for your chance to win the Big Friday giveaway, courtesy of our friends at Aggieland Outfitters. I've been talking about it for the last couple days, but the new Travis Matthews Finest Bottle T-shirt. You hear the bag in the background. I bring it out. It is a brand new T-shirt for Aggies everywhere. And the front says, someone, I'm holding it so awkwardly, give me a beer. All right? I love the material, by the way. We'll get into that in a second. And then on the back it says, never drinking again. We've all been there. Well, some of us have. It's been a while for me. But that being said, it's an awesome shirt. It's got the alternating bold and non-bolded print on the front. But just the material itself, it's one of those that just fits perfectly. It's very breathable. You want to wear it. Northgate, you want to wear it to games. Without a doubt, it is just one of those nice ones. And you can get that one for $39.99 there at Aggieland Outfitters. And you know about it, the Quattro Ranch freeze-dried orange Jell-O. So good. We'll start with a crunch, but melt in your mouth, the perfect healthy snack. You can get both of those at Aggieland Outfitters. Don't miss it. Check them out this weekend when you come to the game.
This is The Zone. Aggieland's all sports station.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Crane. I'm calling about today's appointment. The tree is scheduled to fall on your RV at 2:14 today.
Any way we can reschedule? We're really enjoying our trip.
Oh, I'm sorry, but that's our only opening.
Can it just be a little tree?
Let me check. No, sorry, our file says it's a huge one.
RV owners can't schedule when things go wrong on the road. That's why there's Progressive, a leader in RV insurance.
Is it 2:14 p.m. or a.m.?
I'm not sure. Can I put you on a brief hold?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Family-owned Dixie Tire Company is your authorized Mastercraft and Cooper tire dealer. Need tires for your car, truck, tractor, trailer, lawnmower, or even your wheelbarrow? Dixie Tire Company has them. Need a certain brand of custom wheels or auto accessories or truck lift kits? Need a flat repair, tire and wheel rotation, or tire pressure sensor repaired or replaced? Dixie Tire can help. Serving the BCS for over 30 years at 301 West William J. Bryan Parkway, across from the fire station. Open Monday through Fridays until 6 and Saturdays till 1. Call them at 775-TIRE.
Are your devices sucking your brains out through your eyeballs? Then engage your mind and refresh your soul and head over to Spirit Ice Arena. Whether you're a newcomer or a seasoned vet, there's something for everyone. From figure skating to league hockey to public skating that's open to everyone, Spirit Ice Arena has something for the whole family. Don't worry about being a little shaky on the ice. Use our Big Blue Assistant to keep you steady. Get out of the house and get on over. We are waiting for you at Spirit Ice Arena. For more info, go to spiritice.com.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Zwerneman Flooring, and the Sleep Station. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
You have the right to know. The right to know about culture, the right to know about the economy, the right to know about technology and to know about sports. You have the right to know about education and politics and the weather. You have the right to know what's happening abroad and in your backyard. But above all else, you have the right to know that this right is under attack, and we must work to protect it. Because in order to be free, we must be informed. Understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
On Sports Talk, Chip is unhappy that his people didn't get him an invitation to the Venice Film Festival.
And here is yet another big event that I have missed because I wasn't invited to, because my people aren't keeping up with stuff like this.
Sports Talk, keeping you front and center at most of the big events since 1994. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Hi, friends. It's TexAgs Radio. Awesome music here. YouTube, thank you. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And I'm on the YouTube page, and I see that we have a birthday. And this is not 97.9 The Box, all right? We don't do shout-outs, guys. Just kidding. Glenn Harris, class of 07. Happy birthday, buddy. We're going to start doing it. We're going to start doing, what's up, y'all? Happy birthday. We're going to do it. That's what we're going to do from now on. And I'm going to upset the rest of the people. I don't care. That's what we're going to do. Let's go to the A&B text line where we've got Anna Rosa Peterson breaking down our question of the day, which is what are the top 5 programs and why, or top programs in college football and why?
All right, and before I get into that, a quick announcement in basketball. Texas A&M men's basketball third-year head coach Buzz Williams hired former Virginia Tech standout Wabisa Bade to his staff as a program aide. This was announced yesterday on Tuesday, and in his role, Bade will assist with all aspects of the program: recruiting, organization, student-athlete development, advanced analytics, and camps. So super exciting there for that new addition. And then back to our topic, best jobs in college football. Rost from East of East Texas says, there's no greatest job in college football. Sure, there are great historical programs, but even they had a late start, and some of them had a start and some of them a late start. Miami, Florida State, Clemson, Boise, Kansas State all struck gold after having really bad programs, but they got the right coach. And it goes for pro sports as well. Sure, the Yankees have won a lot, but the Braves were terrible for years after they moved to Atlanta. But they won about 18 division championships in a row. The Steelers were the worst NFL football team until the 70s, but since they've had 3 really good coaches.
Very good stuff there, Anna Rosa. Appreciate you very much. Absolutely. And I think that is exactly it. That is 100% it. It is about the coach. And I'm seeing some comments out there, about Jimbo's lack of creativity and whatnot. Let's see. Because a lot of your creativity is based upon the talent that you're comfortable with, right? If you are comfortable, and a lot of that goes into what we don't see at practice. And yes, I do recognize there are players who don't practice well but show up on game day. We've seen some great ones here. That being said, it is what you do at practice that leads up to the game, which leads up to the confidence level. And I think we have seen Jimbo evolve over the years. And we saw it last week where they were forced to pass and they did not abandon the pass. A lot of us, and I'm glad Chris Landry, because I always feel so much smarter when I talk to Chris. I should probably have him immediately after the game. His perspective is so good. But when he's seen things that they're dictating what A&M has to do. Now, there's a part of me that's like, you know what, though? That's our DNA. We've got to do it. But you can't do it if not everything is in unison. Not everything is on the same stage, right? You got to all be on the same page. I said stage. I don't know why. You have to be, though. All right, when we come back, we are going to be talking to Jordan Pugh, breaking down all things that he saw from a player perspective here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. But right now, let's talk Heritage Films. We've talked about it now about a month. And if you're wasting time, why? Don't waste time. Call Chance right now, 713-893-8341. Chance McClain is the most creative guy I know, and I'm not saying that as a gimmick, as an advertising thing. He is very creative, an awesome person, and tells amazing stories. He started 1560, the radio station that I got my start in Houston. He was the creative director, program director, everything behind it. He's done movies, documentaries, red carpet shows, you name it, and now he's doing Heritage Films. And I'm telling you guys, the quality of work he's doing there to tell your story, your father's story, your uncle's story, your boss's story, whoever it may be, it's amazing. And time is precious, guys. You want to get that on film ASAP because Chance does amazing, amazing work. And just get that done, and I'm talking Netflix-style documentary-esque great stuff. It is yourheritagefilm.com. That number again, 713-893-8341. Chance at 713-893-8341.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The Arts Council of Brazos Valley invites you to join the Art of Sport opening reception. This Thursday, meet the artist, get to know his work, and enjoy the gallery at this special after-hours event. Join Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Texas on Friday for an exciting night of fundraising at the 32nd Annual Bandana Ball. Find out more about this virtual event by finding it on our community calendar at WTAW.com. The theater company presents the musical comedy, The Wedding Singer. Performances run September 17th through October 3rd. Purchase tickets online at theatercompany.com. The 38th Annual National Night Out is Tuesday, October 5th. Neighbors are asked to turn on their French port lights and spend the evening outside with neighbors and law enforcement. Contact your local police station to host a block party. Your home for Houston Texans football is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. You can hear every game, home, road, all season long, right here on Aggieland's only all-sports station. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Does the insulated glass in your windows refuse to come clean no matter how hard you work? If so, the glass unit has probably lost its seal. You might notice moisture between the panes, a hazy look, shadows, or even the growth of some white mold. If so, it's time to call your friends at Intercon. Not only are these conditions unattractive, but you no longer have an insulated barrier in your windows. There are a number of options available to you to remedy lost seals. Most options allow you to retain your existing window frame and just replace the bad glass with a new sealed unit. Clear insulated glass offers an insulating pocket, but no protection against solar heat gain. Low-E insulated glass adds a coating between the sheets of glass. The coating blocks about 80% of the solar heat gain, as well as the damaging UV rays of the sun. Another option is to trade out the entire window frame with a premium vinyl window. Since Intercon does both glass and windows, we can offer you a full complement of options. Call Intercon to get a free quote from a locally owned and managed business.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help you keep your home energy efficient year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639.